Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. Today is Thursday, and it is May 13th. Now, we have one meeting to tell you about today. It is the GRF Community Activities Committee meeting, and that will be at 1:30 this afternoon, and you can follow along at lagunawoodsvillage.com/meeting. Now, on our show today, we have the Orange County Sheriff's Department Dispatch, and we spoke with Kara Gray, who gives us all the insights into what a dispatcher does. And then we have social services, and we have Dustin with us, who's going to talk about their fall prevention program that's going to be happening later in May, actually next week. Okay, let's go ahead and give you our regular COVID-19 vaccination information that we normally do. You can register at othena.com, and that will allow you to have a reservation at any of the pods here in Orange County. Or you can go to vaccinefinder.org, where you can find the vaccine in supply, in stock at Vons, Albertsons, Pavilions, Rite Aid, and CVS. All right, our weather is looking pretty good. We still have that fog that we normally have as we burn that off. Today we're looking at 73.58, tomorrow 72.58, 67.58, then Sunday and Monday 68, 61, 68, 56. And our sunrise this morning was at 5:51 and our sunset 7:43. And hopefully you are seeing the monarch butterflies out there. They are far and few between, but they are still around. Okay, when we come back, we will have the Orange County Sheriff's Department, so stay tuned.
Are your hearing aids not working as well as you'd like? The person who programs your hearing aids is way more important than how much you spent on them. The good news is that we can help. I'm a retired electronics engineer who will precisely reprogram your hearing aids to your unique hearing loss. If that doesn't give you significantly better hearing, I won't charge you a dime. You have nothing to lose and better hearing to gain. So call Hearing Remedy right now and ask for your personal better hearing appointment.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Kara Gray, who is a radio dispatcher with the Orange County Sheriff's Department. Well, Kara, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, we always try to go through different divisions to see what your job is like and how you help us here in Orange County. And so I'm really excited to hear all about your job. And, you know, it's good for everybody to know exactly what happens with a 911 call and when to call, when not to call, and that type of thing. So I'm really happy that you could be here to do that. So before we get into some of the nitty gritty of a 911 call, you know, we want to know what it's like for you as a radio dispatcher.
So as a radio dispatcher, you never know what kind of call you will get. We answer non-emergency business line on top of the 911 calls. We have a priority button. So if you hit that priority thinking you're going to get a business line, it could pop over to a 911 that pops up. And we have multitude of different calls that come in. And it could be anything from an abandoned vehicle to somebody not breathing to a family member screaming. Sometimes we do get just screams and then they just disconnect. So you never know what you're going to get. It's a fulfilling job though, because we do help people. You know, that is our primary function, is to be there for the first people that you call when you need help. And, you know, we will always answer the phone.
So, gosh, I could imagine that would be horrifying if you had just a bunch of screams and then all of a sudden it disconnects. I mean, how do you determine whether something is truly an emergency?
It's hard. We try, and that's why we try and ask questions. Sometimes we do get people who just say, just get here. But, you know, officer safety wise and citizen wise, we need to know what is going on. So a lot of times people scream in anger, people scream, you know, when something horrific is going on. So it's just kind of determining what is happening. And that's why we ask, you know, what is going on? You need to tell us, where are you at? And that is super important, is where are you at? Because at least then we can get somebody to you, even though we don't necessarily know what exactly is happening within that first couple of minutes.
So I always thought that when you called 911 that you were trackable, like the people, you would know where we were.
Sometimes if you call with a landline, which we love that people, citizens in Laguna Woods have landlines, they do utilize them. If it is correct with your phone company, we can automatically see where you're at, what your address is, and what name that the number is under. That is extremely helpful to us. With the age of cell phones, it's become very complicated. We do get a general location, but depending on where you're calling from, the cell towers, we get a Latin long. So by the time we're able to get the Latin long into the system, into Google, get a general area, if you're in the middle of a complex of, thousands of homes, it's very hard to pinpoint exactly where you're at. So with cell phones, especially, at least a street or a cross street, what city you're in, so we can get to you.
Okay, because I would imagine that people probably panic when they call, and so they might not even remember where they live.
Yes, and that is it. Like I said, that's the most important thing, is where you're at, so we can at least get deputies and get paramedics en route to your location.
Okay. Briefly, can you tell me what your most frightening call was?
Yes, I had a Uber driver call in, and he called in on 911. And as an Uber driver, you don't necessarily know where you're at. And he was in he was in San Juan Capistrano, calling on 911 on Ortega Highway, and we all know how long that street is. Mm-hmm. And we do have an update button that helps update the location, but like I said, it's not always accurate.
Yeah.
And he was screaming, and I could hear the male who was stabbing his vehicle with a knife. So it was very stressful. For us, we also get an adrenaline rush. We feel, we have empathy. We understand what's going on, but we're able to kind of tamper it down while we're answering the phones, which is why sometimes we might come across as a little harsh. We're just trying to help you. We understand that you're in a situation where you're panicked, you don't know what's happening, you're trying to call for help, or trying to just get the information. So that was probably, I could tell he was screaming in fear for his life.
Yeah,
so, that was probably one of the most memorable ones.
Very unnerving, I'm sure. What kind of training do you go through?
So we start with call taking. That is about 10 weeks where you're just on the phones answering 911s, non-emergencies, business lines. And then after that, for a couple of months, usually about a 3-month period, then you go to what we call radio training. And that is when you hear the dispatcher's voice through the radio, talking to the deputies, telling them where to go. As they say, you tell us what to do. So we're dispatching out the calls that the call taker is sending. But you have to have a type of knowledge of who, what, where, when, why, and what is happening and why it constitutes a crime. We deal with crime in progress and stuff that has already occurred. Mm-hmm. So either way, and that could lead into, when you call 911. So is it occurring now? Yes, call 911. Are you in fear for your life? Yes, call 911. Has it already occurred? Do you see anything around, anything around that's suspicious? No, that's probably more of a non-emergency type of situation where you would call in.
Well, right. And you also mentioned that you take calls from accidents. So I'm on the freeway, and I mean, that would be the first thing I would do is call 911, primarily because you don't know what the situation is. All you know is that you see maybe someone in a car, they've been in an accident, so you don't know if they're hurt or not. So would that be appropriate to call 911 because you don't know what else to do?
Yes, unless you're involved. And we will ask, the person who is calling, are you involved? No? Okay. Because we don't know the status of that driver's, of if they're injured or not. Right. A lot of times, definitely car accidents, especially if you're not involved, like I said, are 911 appropriate. Mm-hmm. And what a lot of people don't realize is we'll answer, 911, what is your emergency? We obviously don't say our agency. So a lot of times the highway patrol might get something that is a Orange County Sheriff's Department call, and we will get something that is for the freeway. So then we would say, please hold on, we need to transfer you to the highway patrol, and we would automatically hit that button. It might ring a few times and then they'll come on and take over.
So at what point then do you transfer calls to the fire department?
That is a great question, especially for Laguna Woods. We transfer them immediately. If we only go if there is a threat to the fire department or the informant who's calling, or if somebody is not breathing. So if you call 911, please tell us if you need the police or the paramedics. If you do need the paramedics, we will immediately hit that button to transfer them. If somebody is not breathing, just know that we are staying on the line to confirm that somebody is breathing, and then we will disconnect. If they are not, we're getting that information, because the fire department can only go so fast with their large trucks and ambulances, whereas in a vehicle, the deputies can get there a lot quicker, and usually do, to start CPR before the ambulance gets there.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily. So wait, back up just a bit on the fire department one. So if I call 911 and it is for someone not breathing, you send an officer first and then the fire department?
So it kind of depends on the call. If somebody immediately says they're not breathing, I'm going to quickly get the address. And then while I'm getting the address after that, I say, okay, let me get the paramedics in line with us. Don't hang up. Okay. While the phone is transferring, I'm usually quickly typing up the call, male or female not breathing, and then just sending it over. And then we will let the paramedics take over, because they give the CPR instructions. And that is super important, that people don't hang up on that transfer, because it has happened before. Sure. Whether, they can't hear, or, people are in a panic, obviously. It's totally understandable, but please don't hang up if you don't hear something right away, because we are just trying to transfer the call to the fire department so they can give those instructions.
Okay. Great information. But now you also said that you type in something. So not only are you on the phone, but now you're typing something and trying to do all these different things. So how many different things are you doing at once?
We are doing quite a bit at once. So just as a call taker answering a 911, we have 3 to 4 screens. Usually our main screen is all of the calls that are going on in the county. We have 2, we call them command lines, and we have, dispatch codes that we put into these command lines. And then as we hit a button on our computers, on our keyboards, on the computer, it pops up and it gives us all the basic information that we need to type in the call. But it still takes time to type things up. So, during that training period of that 10 weeks, if you cannot get a person not breathing or a car accident or something that we consider as a priority 1 call over within a couple of seconds, within a minute, you typically don't pass, because people depend on that for us to get the information over.
Right. So pretty quick thinking.
Yes. Quick thinking, quick typing.
Yeah.
Vice versa. On the radio, we have what's called a foot pedal, and it almost is like a sewing machine foot pedal, because our hands need to be free at all times so we can quickly type. So we have a headset where we're talking, typing, and hitting that foot pedal at the same time. So it's very much multitasking.
Good. Sounds like, that's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time.
That's exactly what it is. And if the call taker is yelling information to you as it's coming over, hey, I have a priority 1 that's going to come over, and the deputies are asking questions, and it's a full team response, but it's very much multitasking.
Do you work long hours?
We do. We work shift work. Wow. So we either work a 10-hour shift or a 12-hour shift.
Oh my gosh, that would be, you must be exhausted when you go home.
It can be definitely tiring. We are not like the deputies or the fire department where we're out on our feet all day handling calls, but mentally it can be exhausting. We eat at our desks while we're helping the public. We take breaks, for ourselves and to get up and walk around, but
sure,
mainly we are sitting down answering the phone because somebody has to be here to do so.
Exactly. How many dispatchers are there?
I think there are about 60, 65.
Oh, wow.
And then during a full staff of people, we have 4 different radio channels. Okay. So Laguna Woods is considered yellow 2, and we have 1 main dispatcher that is dispatching for what we call yellow 2, and it breaks up the cities a little bit. Okay. So because we are such a large county, We have yellow 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then a breaker person. And then on the desks, we can have anywhere from 3 to 9 people.
Oh, great. And who is the dedicated dispatcher? Is it change? I guess it would change.
Changes. Yeah. So to break up the shift, we usually have about a 6-hour time on the phone, and then you'll go to a radio position typically.
Oh, I see. Okay, good. Well, man, this is awesome. I really appreciate you spending the time with us. It's always good to get the inside look of how you guys work.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. And I just want to briefly say, I understand, everyone, when it comes to emergencies, everyone might have a different opinion of what an emergency is. And we try and get the calls out as quickly as we can. We'll always say, it's a within the hour, depending on life or death emergencies. Right. Sometimes it can be a little bit longer, but we try and get people out to you as quickly as we can.
Well, thank you for all that you do, and thank you for the information.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Kimber Mood with the Orange County Sheriff's Department. We've seen an increase in phone scams where con artists pretend to be someone they are not, including law enforcement officers. Don't be a victim. Trust your instincts. If a call seems suspicious, it probably is. For example, the Orange County Sheriff's Department will never require payment over the phone. If you receive one of these calls, contact the Orange County Sheriff's Department as soon as possible and visit our website to learn more about scams.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Dustin Arbuckle, who is here on behalf of Social Services. Well, how are you today? It's been a while.
I'm doing well. It's great to be back. Long time no see.
Yes. Well, we've been here the entire time because we had to make sure that all the residents were informed. So we still had our ThisDay. So that's good. But like to see you live, I mean, I've seen you here and there, but certainly nothing on a regular basis. So yes, things are starting to open up, which is great. So with that said, Social Services, we did talk to Susan on a number of occasions, and that was great because she, you guys were very instrumental in doing a lot of things, especially with our vaccine rollout. So, but from your perspective, let's understand a little bit about what your position is.
Sure, I'll share a little background. So all the way about 2.5 years ago, Laguna Woods Village and Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center began a partnership in which Saddleback at the start began fully funding a social worker, which is me, who would be embedded in the Laguna Woods Village Social Services Department. Mm-hmm. So as we were structuring this position, we asked ourselves, what is the best way to serve the most Laguna Woods residents with this position? And it was clear from the get-go that falls were the #1 issue negatively impacting both the independence and the quality of life of residents. So my goal is to meet with residents in their home or in our office in the community center, often after the hospital, and to help them get back up on their feet and doing what they love in the community again. So we as social workers, we do this by maintaining a network of resources that we use to help rebuild residents' support system and prevent future falls, whether residents need a caregiver, transportation to the doctor, or more robust long-term care planning, such as strategies to make care affordable, for example.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If someone was concerned about, like their balance and things weren't as good as it was before, can you assess their home to help them decide what they may or may not be seeing in the home for falls?
Absolutely, and that's actually one of the key risk factors for falls is actually home hazards. Mm-hmm. And yes, we can absolutely come out to the home. Residents could also assess it themselves. The hazards are things like clutter, loose rugs, clothing, poor lighting or slippery footwear, moving too quickly. So to avoid these things, residents can remove the clutter. They can install grab bars, move very carefully, make sure shower has a rubber mat. So yeah, that's a really big risk factor we see a lot. The number one risk factor, most people don't know, it's actually an inactive lifestyle or not doing enough like physical therapy, for example. And physicians actually say that falls are a symptom, and most often it's a symptom of immobility, they say, or not being physically active enough. So it's a sign. That third big risk factor is called polypharmacy. And that is when you take 5 or more medications. And there's also medications that can increase your risk of falling. So what we do, we encourage residents to have a conversation with their doctor about their medications, especially if they know that a particular medication is making them feel less alert. So those 3 are the big ones to be watching out for.
Wow. Well, do you have a checklist of some sort of all those hazards that you mentioned?
We do, yeah. And that's what I kind of carry around with me as I peruse the house, kind of pointing out, that this cord, it might be a little bit of a tripping hazard there. And I actually email it to residents all the time, and they can walk through their house themselves doing it.
Oh, good. Now, if they were interested in getting a copy of that, what should they do?
Just call social services. That number is 949-597-4267, and they can get it that way very easily.
All right, perfect. Now, speaking of falls, we do hear about it a lot, and gosh, it could be so severe that it could cause death in many of our elderly, and that's just such a frightening thing, especially like you said with the medications. So you guys are having a fall prevention event that's coming up here soon. Let's talk about that.
Yes, thank you very much. And yeah, we're very happy to announce we're restarting the physician lecture portion of our fall prevention program. And we are eagerly awaiting for the go-ahead to restart the exercise and balance portion of the program, which isn't just available just yet. Okay. So we will be hosting a virtual fall prevention lecture on May 20th at 2 p.m. featuring Dr. David Law, who is back by popular demand. Dr. Law will be discussing the best practice interventions for an age-friendly health system. And what that does is it offers concrete ways for older adults to prevent falls and to thrive. So a few things that residents could expect to learn from the lecture. Right off the bat, residents will be able to know their personal risk rating for falls. Dr. Law will also be sharing some really, really interesting facts that most people don't know, and I'll give you a little preview of one. And it's that 1/3 of older adults who have received one medication that benefits a condition or disease, but it worsens another coexisting condition. So what age-friendly care does pursuant to that issue, and it's my favorite thing that age-friendly care does, is that it prioritizes patient-oriented outcomes over and above disease-oriented outcomes. So for example, physicians could treat high blood pressure using medication, but if that medication is making patients less steady on their feet, which is a common symptom of blood pressure medications, then it's not the end of the story. So that's why we want care to be patient-oriented, which is revolving around what matters most to patients. Right. Because it might be most important for that patient to travel the world, which is really hard to do when you're feeling unsteady on your feet. And what Dr. Law's lecture does is teach you how to know and align your healthcare with those goals and preferences.
Yeah, that's a good one, because having low blood pressure is not such a good thing, because that you can pass out and fall down. Yep. But that's interesting that some of the medications can actually cause you to feel unbalanced, which is surprising. I didn't know that it could, and so that's good that people would know, and maybe a doctor would be able to kind of
give them, like you said, some ideas. Is that something that they would talk to their physician about in relation to the medication?
Yes, absolutely. He will absolutely encourage residents to go to their physician and express, what matters most. And I see all the time, I'll get another referral. It's for exactly what you're talking about, that low blood pressure, which causes a fall. The name for that is called postural hypotension. So it's when if a person were to get up too quickly and get lightheaded and fall, that's that sudden drop in blood pressure.
Got it. Yeah, we all need to get up slow because you don't want to have that spinning out of control and falling down. I've seen it one too many times. Mm-hmm. Okay, so after the doctor's going to give a talk for what, like an hour, half an hour?
It's going to be about a half an hour.
Okay.
And then after that, we will have a question and answer portion. So I will be kind of fielding those questions as we get them. So submit them sooner rather than later. More opportunity that your question will be answered, and I'll be asking them live for Dr. Law to answer.
Oh, okay, good. So where do you want them to send the questions?
I'll kind of go over how to register, and that might be a little bit clearer. So to register, go to memorialcare.org/balancing act. And once residents are registered, they'll receive a Zoom link in their email. So it's very important to save this email, as it has the info that serves as your ticket to the lecture. So once you're on the lecture, you'll be on Zoom, and at the bottom there's the chat section, and you can submit all answers there.
Oh, good. Okay, great. So they can ask their questions in the Zoom chat box that they have. Okay, great. Okay, and I would assume that Zoom is really the only way that they could see this, correct?
It will be Zoom. That'll be starting at 2 p.m. May 20th. We'll probably post it on social media after the fact. So.
Good. So if you record it, then maybe share that with us, and we'll be able to let people know on this day, so as to where they could go find it if they happen to miss it.
Absolutely. Yep,
okay, great. Anything else?
I think we covered it.
Okay, perfect. Well, this is a very important event that's coming up, like you mentioned, and the falls are very prevalent. And so hopefully the doctor can help them with all of their questions. So thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. We'll see you again. And we'll be right back after this.
Well, we're going to give you a preview of what is playing tomorrow. It will be The Karate Kid, and you can watch that tomorrow at 2 p.m. with subtitles and 6 p.m. without subtitles. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather before we head out. We are looking at, foggy skies in the morning, but we are going to clear to nice temperatures. Today we are looking at 73-58, tomorrow 72-58. Saturday, 67-58, Sunday, 68-61, and Monday, pretty much the same as Sunday, 68-56. Have a great day in the village. We'll see you again here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Of course, you can always rewatch our program Monday through Saturday at 12:30 and 5. Have a great day. Bye-bye.